We're getting close to our lunch here. You might notice that when I put programs together, I really like to pack a lot into this agenda. And so one of the things that we are so thankful for is that different sponsors of this event are able to share some of their comments, as well as our speakers and our panels. And Doyle Carr was going to be with us. He's the chairman of Global Harvest Initiative, but he was one of the unlucky ones who didn't make it out of Des Moines and the airport yesterday. But we're lucky because Margaret is still here, and I always look forward. She has a great panel at the World Food Prize in October in Des Moines every year. So please welcome Margaret up to the stage here again to talk a little bit about Global Harvest Initiative.
Well, good morning. I'm going to be very brief because you all have braved the elements and come here, and it's almost time for lunch. So I just wanted to say a few words of reflection and thinking about our comments that we've had this morning and the topic before us. And I do think we are at a very important crossroads in global food and agriculture. And I just want to thank Sarah, really, for bringing all of us together. I thought the conversation today was really interesting. We had a lot of different points of view this morning and some frank conversations, and I think that's really valuable. And the goal of helping farmers to continue to feed the world and to do it more sustainably was why Global Harvest Initiative was formed back in 2009. And here in the U.S., we see the fruits of many, many decades of investments in research, development, innovation. And our food and agriculture sector is a key driver of our economic growth. It provides $2 trillion in revenue and employs almost 20 million people. And all of this really has been achieved thanks to the ingenuity and hard work of farmers and all of you in the agriculture sector. We've delivered this through these gains in productivity, as I mentioned on the panel. And productivity really is an example of innovation that's been adopted by farmers and ranchers. This has resulted in great benefits for consumers. We often don't think about this, but our food prices here are among the lowest on the planet. Nevertheless, over the last few decades, productivity in agriculture has begun to stall in the United States. And uncertainty in regional and global trade is further complicating our efforts. If these headwinds continue, it's going to continue to threaten our rural way of life and our wider economy. So GHI was formed to help us better understand and mitigate the risks of these trends under the mantra, if you can't measure it, you can't fix it. We create something each year called the GAP report, or Global Agricultural Productivity Report. And it serves as a vital resource in the global dialogue about productive, sustainable agriculture. If you are not familiar with the report, you can actually get a copy today. We have a table outside in the general area, and we've got flash drives as well, and it contains a lot of resources on it. And we reach a global audience, and many of those who are outside the usual suspects of our agricultural silos. These include global development audiences, conservation partners, students, and consumers, as well as food activists. GHI's member companies really had the foresight to think about the value of productivity and innovation. And I want to thank our member companies. And these include Corteva Agri-Sciences, which is now a division of Dow DuPont, John Deere, Monsanto, the Mosaic Company, and Smithfield Foods. We are also partnering with 14 other organizations from the conservation, university sectors, and international development agencies. So one of the things we hope that you will do is not only think about food and agriculture in the immediate sense of the U.S. Economy, but think about the role of the U.S. food and agriculture system as it pertains to global food security. And this is something I think is a very powerful trend that we need to perhaps talk about a little bit more, the contributions of the United States food and agriculture system to global stability and global relationships. One sector of the U.S. that we often don't hear about within our agricultural silos is the U.S. military. And the U.S. military recognizes the value of our productivity and our sustainable system of agriculture and food production, and sees it as a very useful global security tool in terms of interrelationships with other countries and other regions. And I think it's important to recognize that our historical leadership here is something we should continue to focus on and continue to invest in. I think there's also a lot of reasons to be hopeful today. New technologies and data, as we are hearing about on the panels, are revolutionizing agriculture and food production. Young people are entering into agriculture and the food sciences, bringing a lot of enthusiasm and entrepreneurial energy. And our producers are continuing to innovate and find new ways to adapt, diversify, and thrive even during these challenging times. So I really look forward to our conversation as we go through the rest of the day and over lunch. And let's continue to work together to sustainably feed the world. Thank you.